estamos de volta com mais um vídeo de Elysium aqui no canal. E hoje...
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony things.
Ainda não é o dia. Quando será que vai ser o dia? Ah, o cara tá aqui agora. Fala com a mulher.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
Eu estava bem no meu estava bem no meu caminho conforme eu trabalhava no caso.
Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Mexican origin. The pin is an antique, quite special.
Ela entrega uma gravata borboleta costurada com uma caveira de pássaro prateada. Caraca.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes.
8 olhos?
You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
Por enquanto é isso, senhora. Calma aí. Sugestão eu tenho -1, né? Império Interior, Volição. Interessante. Mais sugestão. Tem algo mais que dá sugestão? Acho que não, né? Tá bom, acho que assim já dá já.
Oh, hello, sweetie. So nice to see you again.
Vou tentar esse daqui.
Sometimes the most
Nossa.
charming thing you can do is be reasonable in your requests.
Você poderia me contar sobre apenas um criptoide interessante?
I suppose you could use a break and I could use a distraction.
One cryptid, like you said. One. This can't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza. We have things to do.
Ok, Kim, apenas um criptoidezinho, prometo.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Ooh, tough choice there.
Esse pássaro é um criptoide? Apontar pra gravata que ele lhe deu.
No, it's the cryptid.
O criptoide?
Oh, yes.
Ok, o que é esse pássaro? O que é esse pássaro?
The eight-eyed teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 meters. It was thought to have gone extinct 3,500 years ago. Some even doubted the fossils were real. A mutation, they said. Until...
Mutation? All of evolution is a mutation.
Até que...
Until it was cited by renowned Gotvaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
This renown seems a bit dubious. Your own catalogue comes up completely empty. But, of course, you are not all-knowing.
Eu preciso ouvir sobre esse avistamento.
It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm.
Ok, Yuan Rao é?
The world's largest canyon system, sweetie. It's a barren waste east of the Erg Desert. An ancient riverbed completely dried up.
Ok, o que aconteceu?
Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years, since the fall of Pericarnassus. He was lost, without any navigation equipment and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky. A great black bird, it seemed gargantuan.
Imagina que não foi nem um pouco uma alucinação, né? Beleza.
Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon. But by the time Uwe got there, The Teratorn had taken off already, and the carcass was picked clean.
Ele o
It's
seguiu?
happened many times. Yes, or rather, hunting. A bird that big has a lot of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plottenkalk followed the Teratorn until they reached a great canyon wall where the bird finally landed to rest. The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch. So he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist.
Watch out.
Then the Teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. And the man couldn't move. He was paralyzed, frozen into place with the rock in his hand. Whatever he did, he could not get closer to the bird.
Por quê?
The bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uva spent 3 days trying until the bird flew away.
Espera pouco, como ele sobreviveu pra contar a história?
The 8-eyed Teratorn was indifferent to him, as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. It even let him feed on some carcasses up there, and the 2 unfertilized eggs it left behind.
Pássaro de 8 olhos que controla a mente. Qual é?
Yes, way, sweetie. Cryptozoologists have been tracing it ever since, but Wamrao is vast, mysterious, and holds many secrets.
Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one by the end of the decade, latest.
This one I liked. Not only does it have 8 eyes, and is a living fossil, and the largest bird ever to live, it also does mind control.
O controle da mente foi. Não, aí pegando pesado, né?
He's sincere. He likes the audacity of it.
Então essa foi a última vez que alguém o viu?
Sadly, yes. But there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Ilmara. And then there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnassian imperial eagle, an ancient heraldic symbol that is hard to pass off as coincidence. The imperial eagle, too, had 8 eyes.
Not really. It's just stylization. The way they drew eyes. It's not a zoological drawing.
Very, very hard.
This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. People will be looking at that tie on you and thinking, that man is into cryptids. So, what else do you want to know?
Beleza. Isso tem sido educacional, mas infelizmente nós precisamos discutir outra coisa.
Of course, dear.
Você nunca me disse que viu o Fasmídio.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Não muito, mas eu vejo tudo, né?
Ramblings? Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it. He's proven his interest in the field.
Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Cara, esse caderno não acaba, não?
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
Espere, onde foi isso e quantos anos você tinha?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5.5 in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
Betancourt got bombed in the war. It used to be quite near, circa 20 kilometers from here.
O que aconteceu?
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy, I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Você o seguiu?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there, knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Então o quê?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
Meu Deus.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
Ele olha pra ela com admiração, esquecendo um sorriso largo no rosto. Vocês estavam em um encontro? Nossa, é muita conversa.
Our first, yes.
A velha senhora olha para o marido com ternura.
The glance is tender, yes, but tempered by something else. A thought she can't express, even to him. Interesting.
Ih, mentiu pra ele? Ok, seus membros são brancos?
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
Qual era o tamanho?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
Realmente, será que você não imaginou isso, Lena?
How could she? Who imagines this? She didn't know about the phasmid. This is the main thing here, what makes it a confirmed sighting. She had no previous knowledge of the insect.
So she couldn't have made it up, or imagined it.
That's true, yes. I'm almost certain neither my mother nor my grandmother knew of it. It was only when I started telling my story as a teenager that boys would tell me, Lena, you trying to tell us you saw the Insulindian phasmid out there in those reeds? Get out of here. They just give me a cider and ruffle my hair and tell me to stop dreaming. But I saw it.
Que garotas é isso que você saía pra conhecer isso, minha querida? Ok. Kim, o que você acha disso?
I thought it was a wonderful story, man.
Obrigado por compartilhar isso comigo.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
Por enquanto é isso, senhora. O que é isso daqui?
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law.
Ah, tá.
I mean, officers.
Once more, you hear that odd clicking sound coming from Gary.
Always I mean...
Once more, you hear that odd clicking sound coming from Gary.
Calma aí, calma aí. Tem mais nada que dá compostura, que eu já sei, né? Porque eu já vi 500 vezes isso, mas eu continuo conferindo. Eu quero o drama maior. Pra saber se ele vai mentir. Dê a zerar com guia... Calma, deixa eu ver isso daqui rapidinho. Ah!
A cockatoo, this book talks about the delicate nature of twos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species.
Ah, o que eu tenho que fazer nisso aqui? Não entendi, não. Interação média. Sei lá.
Always I mean,
Once more, you hear that odd clicking sound.
Por favor,
coming
por
from
favor,
Gary.
por favor.
That shirt looks
Obrigado.
very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out from underneath.
Ele tá com a armadura por baixo, algo usado por baixo?
Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles, stolen from the corpse in the yard near where he lives.
Vejo que você é um conhecedor de equipamentos de combate de alta qualidade.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
Aham.
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. He's gearing up to admit the truth.
Gary, what's going on?
I took the hangman's cuirass. I didn't mean to.
God damn it, Gary.
I know.
Shame on you. Give the cuirass to the officer at once. Gary didn't mean to interfere with your investigation, officers. He's just thick-headed and poor as dirt. But he's always helped us, given us a place to stay. And he's followed Morel into God knows what jungles.
Entregue-me essa armadura agora.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view. Soon it is in your hands, smelling of his sweat. But so light to hold, like a bag of cotton.
Por que você mentiu pra mim, Gary?
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I saw you. But
He's a scaredy cat.
Chato você, hein, mulher? Por que você colocou aquelas roupas no lixo?
everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they'd scattered his clothes all over the yard. Everything was smelling. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They all say he wasn't from here. Only the cuirass was left, so I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have... Fuck.
We're detecting sincere contrition here, sire. He's not trying to flatter anyone.
Ok.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up now.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. Sealite officers commanded the suzerain's navy. Most of them sided with the king when...
They were thoroughly conservative men, he realizes suddenly.
Você sabe quem matou o homem enforcado?
I always thought it was the Union. Some Union hardasses. Lynched him because of the strike. But almost everyone in town knows that. I wish I could tell you more.
This is all he knows.
Obrigado, Drama. Você tá me ajudando bastante. Terminamos aqui, Gary?
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again.
Ok. Você também é criptozoologia... Ah, não quero fazer isso agora, né? Encontre a ferramenta certa. Eu tenho que pesquisar os números lá, né? Eu tô com 2 pontos de habilidade de novo. Eu posso colocar em... muita coisa, né? Mas não vou gastar em nada ainda, não. Eu posso usar? Limiar da dor, volição.
The white ceramic cuirass hugs your torso, shielding your vitals without adding much bulk to your form.
Cara, isso aqui é interessante que se eu me meter numa briga, você vai me proteger, né?
Your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions.
Eu serei responsável. Isso serve apenas para me proteger do perigo, não para me exibir.
The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and light, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. Just imagine what a full suit of this stuff could do for you. You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability.
Essa é a tão procurada tecnologia inimiga. Já foi. Eu preciso estudá-la? Como assim? Já foi, 2 faltando, aqui vou eu.
2? Are you sure you're correct there? There was a helmet too. 3 pieces more like. You were ambitious.
A bota eu não consigo mais, né? Sim, eu quero o conjunto completo.
It may be a while before you have all the pieces. In the meantime, you should analyze the armor. Figure out its vulnerabilities.
Vulnerabilidades?
Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor meant to stop bullets. Wear it. Observe its properties. See if there's a weakness in the design.
Isso é interessante, hein? Será que eu destravo? Vamos lá. Ai, tristeza ter gastado mais uma, beleza. Ele tá muito mal vestido, velho, mas beleza. Nossa, tem tanta gente pra conversar. Deixa eu conversar com isso daqui.
Can I help you?
Gart, encontrei um novo pássaro para o Willing. Entregue a ele até trás de colar.
What is this thing?
Não é grande coisa, só achei que ficaria bem na parede. Eu sou esse tipo de tira. Eu queria me desculpar por quebrar o grande mandrilhão, trazendo para você esse trás de colar.
Okay, well, this is actually a nice bird. A competent piece of taxidermy. I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess. So, I don't know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with thank you.
I feel good about our work here today. It's all about the little things, like bringing people random stuffed animals.
It's not actually about that, but he liked it.
Adeus. Conversar com esse daqui.
I couldn't possibly shower thanks on you as enthusiastically as my wife has, but I am grateful for your assistance, officer.
Você sabia que Gary estava escondendo a armadura?
Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of them.
Thanks.
Então, eu chequei todas as armadilhas.
Good. Okay. And?
E uma delas estava vazia.
Completely empty?
Sim, não havia nada na armadilha, nem gafanhoto, nem phasmídio.
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but...
It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct them.
Of course, more clever.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Eu não sei, não estou convencido.
Why don't you try convincing Morel his hypothesis is invalid.
Thank you for the vote of no confidence, Gary. An officer. I appreciate your concern, but please leave this to the experts. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture.
You're jabbing at the soft underbelly of his psyche. He realizes he's gotten defensive.
Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Ravachol, is yours.
Ok, né?
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but...
Damn it, Lieutenant. Have you no intellectual curiosity?
Elabore uma teoria alternativa com relação aos gafanhotos desaparecidos. Putz.
You have your suspicions, but nothing you can form into a viable explanation.
Certo, eu estive pensando e simplesmente não estou certo que foi o Fasmídio que pegou os gafanhotos. Talvez tenha sido... não vou ofender, não. Qualquer um vai ofender, né? Vamos 3, então.
Really, officer? We can take it from here.
Yes, sweetie, we've already taken too much of your time.
Ok, eu vou andando. Cara, eu consigo perder os mais fáceis, né, velho? É impressionante, eu tenho uma capacidade incrível. Cara, eu já fiz muito negócio, né? Quase que são... Eu vou no negócio, cadê? Eu vou no carro... ver a ligação, né? Calma, antes de ir no carro ver a ligação... Eu não consigo me concentrar, né? Essa porta, será que eu consigo arrombar com a ferramenta correta?
You see...
Nem com 2 pés de cabra equipado.
You see...
Um dia eu descubro o que é isso. Inclusive eu tinha que descobrir um negócio. Ai, nossa, tem tanta coisa pra fazer nesse jogo. Não vou acabar nunca. O que pra mim é bom, o jogo tá legal, mas... Caraca. Fazer uma série disso aqui pro YouTube... não é tão fácil, não.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Pega o rádio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Você recebeu uma resposta do ICP sobre o número de série?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Betancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies in the Semenine conflict. So, it seems the armor went to Semenine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Acho que um de seus nomes é Crenel.
Yes, that is the most recent name the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP. And the one before it was Downwell. I also have one called Sediment, but I think that might be a different contractor. No, they were called Sediment. And Somatosensor, it seems. All that during the last 9 years.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
Uma armadura como essa teria sido personalizada para caber no usuário. Deve haver um registro da pessoa a quem ela foi entregue.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
Sim, por favor, tente. É imperativo descobrir de quem é essa armadura.
Sure. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I will have more information for you then.
Eu preciso relatar um cadáver no no calçadão do Martinez.
One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
Um homem de meia idade não identificado entre 1,70 m e 1,75 m, cabelo escuro, porte médio, parece que escorregou, caiu um buraco no calçadão e bateu a cabeça em um banco de metal.
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him, and traces of vomit on his shirt.
Any signs of violence?
Não, parece que foi um acidente.
No field autopsy necessary.
You can hear her quickly typing in the background.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes?
Ele estava vestindo botas, calças e uma jaqueta de couro com forro azul brilhante. Eu encontrei um cartão de biblioteca nos bolsos dele.
Any information on the library card?
Eu ainda não examinei.
Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it to someone else?
Nós vamos pegar o caso.
I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you? 57, over and out.
In the cabin.
Calma aí, eu tinha que ter examinado, né? Dei mole. Eu fui burro. Examine o cartão, deveria ter examinado antes.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member.
Olhe dentro.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Olha a parte de trás.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55 211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Mejean.
Good idea. There was plenty of information here to go by.
Eu esqueci de... Quer dizer, eu pulei sem querer um pedaço da fala, mas beleza. Tem algo mais que eu tenho que interagir?
The face?
Não. Deixa pra depois também, né? Tá, o que mais eu tenho que fazer? O Kuno tá aqui, né? Cara, eu nem sei mais o que eu posso fazer, cara. Eu tô muito perdido. Cante no karaokê enquanto uma birita e beba. Quem fez a ligação denunciando o crime. Pesquisa sobre o número, as tatuagens da vítima. Compre calça, explore a passagem. Abre a porta, encontre algum cigarro. Explore a passagem? Como que é esse explore a passagem que eu não sei? É aquela porta azul? Deve ser aquela porta azul, né? Mas como que eu faço isso? Está cheio de gafanhotos aqui. Ah, sério que foi ele?
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising. Accommodations for their insectoid inhabitants?
Well, detective, it appears you're on the way to solving the case. The missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
Sim, nós precisamos contar ao Morel sobre isso imediatamente.
Of course, I'll leave that to you. You seem to have a handle on the phasmid trap insect situation.
Ah, sério isso, velho? Que merda. Vamos subir, vamos subir. Não tem nada de sobrenatural nesse jogo, não é possível. Toda hora parece que vai ter alguma coisa e nunca tem, né? É interessante. Eu não consigo ir em nenhum lugar pra lá, né, velho? Aqui em cima. Como que eu vou ali em cima, cara? deixei passar alguma coisa ali? Não. Vamos descer então, vamos. Deixa eu contar um negócio do criptoide lá, que foi o Kuno, na verdade. Oh, meu Deus. Tinha que ser o maldito do Kuno, né, cara? Ô, criancinha chata.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Eu tenho mais perguntas sobre o local do crime.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Kuno, vamos falar sobre o seu barraco de
The
novo.
fuck do you want with it?
Qual é do tubo de Magnia Solan, Kuno?
It's a vitamin pig. Don't you know anything?
Ele olha pra você como se estivesse apontando para o sol e perguntando o que era. Muito boa a comparação, né?
You could use some.
É magnésio, certo?
Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a bottle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you, Kuno.
Qual é? Só magnésio, não mistifique tanto.
You're not getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
Fuck you, pig. Don't do mag. You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die.
Eu encontrei um prato coberto de pó residual. Sabe de algo sobre isso?
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old, but you could have that sparkle in your eyes.
Qual a parada com aquela cabeça de porco?
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
Fita demo como um tipo de música?
Yeah, Kuno plays on snuff radio, fucks pigs, live, fucks their heads off. Kuno's a cop killer.
Eu ouvi bastante disso.
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
Eu posso aumentar a empatia.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
Então eu estou com falta de magnésio?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
Então eu preciso tomar mag?
You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium.
Você está dizendo que eu preciso me tornar uma forma de vida baseada em magnésio?
Yes. If you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to ascend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system.
Oh, meu Deus. Forma de vida baseada em magnésio. Não vou liberar mais nada daqui, não. Porque eu preciso gastar os pontos aqui. A mulher tá lá em cima. Ô, caramba, eu nunca vou chegar lá, né, velho? Entra. Cara, eu sou uma pessoa muito perdida nesse jogo, né? Deve estar sendo um saco assistir. É que assim, não tecnicamente perdido, porque eu estou sempre fazendo algo, mas eu não pego algo do início e vou até o fim, né? Até porque não é tão fácil fazer isso também, né?
Hello. Lena and I were just discussing the design of the new trap.
Eu encontrei os gafanhotos em um barraco próximo. Um garoto chamado Kuno construiu uma cidade pra eles.
What the devil is a Kuno? Why would he be making a city of bugs?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
Eu vou conversar com o pequeno Gremlin, pedir que ele pare de pegar eles.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know if the kids can stop hampering us. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
After this is your last chance to talk to Gary.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs. Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Gary. You've been more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
He keeps the language unemotional, but it's in there. Disappointment.
Ok, deixa eu conversar com ele já que é a última chance que eu tenho.
Always a pleasure to see, officers.
Você também é criptozoologista?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
After all this time with Morel, he must have an opinion on cryptids. This could lead to a good one.
Eu gosto de criptoides. Você tem um favorito?
Oh, yes. The burning rhino. Morel doubts he's real, but I don't much care, because I won't be the one looking for him out in Sarai.
O que é um rinoceronte ardente?
A rhinoceros that looks ordinary during the day, but burns brightly by night. Well, at least the males do.
Como eles queimam?
They have special ducts just above their shoulder blades that secrete a combustible fluid. When the rhino is just beginning to light itself, it looks as though it has wings of fire.
But how is this combustible fluid lit?
Como a ignição desse fluido realmente funciona?
The rhino starts running very fast to build heat, then stops, raises its head, and sparks fly from its neck, setting its back ablaze.
Isso parece improvável.
Yeah, well, Revacol used to be a flaming rhino once, a long time ago. That seems unlikely too, doesn't it?
Super solid argument, Gary. Can't argue with that.
Porque apenas os machos.
The flames are not just for decoration. They are an integral part of the beast's mating behavior.
Como assim?
During the burning rhino's mating season, herds of male rhinos, all aflame, encircle herds of female rhinos, forming a fiery ring as they begin to copulate loudly. Local peasants call it the passion ring. They fear the rhinos, as perhaps they should. Anyway.
The lieutenant sighs without looking up from his notes.
Obrigado pela sua cooperação. Já acabou com ele, né? Eu tinha que falar com o Kuno, né? Oh, meu Deus. Esse vai e vem tá me... Deixa eu conversar com o cara aqui primeiro.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Eu falei com o Joyce, o mercenário que vocês enforcaram. Os amigos deles estão vindo atrás de vocês. Não, não faz isso não. Eu vou mandar esse 3 porque eu queria mandar o 5, mas eu queria... Ah, calma aí. A autoridade. Só pra ter certeza que eu não vou clicar em nada ruim, deixa eu clicar nesse 3.
Indeed, mighty.
Well, there are so many bullets in the world, and so many heads. I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads.
Eu pensei que eu já tinha falado isso com ele já. Mas tá, você ainda está falando sobre uma bala, dá um tapinha na nuca, uma bala na cabeça de um homem enforcado. Você está certo, pouco. Isso é extremamente curioso. De fato, extremamente, como isso foi parar lá? O tenente está fixo em Titus. Bem, existem tantas balas no mundo e tantas cabeças.
It's bound to happen again, you know? Just statistically speaking, of course.
Sire, it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes.
Ai, meu Deus. Tá bom, tá bom. Vou te perguntar novamente, por que isso mostra a bala estava na cabeça da vítima?
Wow! He's got it in a real evidence bag and all!
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
Acho que o enforcamento foi um encobrimento para o disparo.
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid. And his brain grew around the bullet.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
All the goofing around is to avoid lying. It's a technique.
Vocês atiraram nele?
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk.
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. Better hope he stays sober.
No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him?
Before? After? During? This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time.
Não se preocupe, vamos descobrir isso mais cedo ou mais tarde.
Never been worried in my life, lawman.
Ele cruza os braços peludos, tendo esquecido a cerveja por um momento.
It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there, somewhere.
Reação estranha ao projétil. Eu tenho que tirar 16, autoridade, calma aí. Autoridade, né? Vamos ver. Meu Deus, que lento. Eu acho que eu não tenho nada que me aumente muito minha autoridade, não. Isso aqui diminui. Pra ser bem sincero, eu acho que nada aumenta minha autoridade, né? Só diminui. Então não tem nem por que eu tentar. Tá, vamos confrontar o Kuno logo. Se eu acabar pelo menos essa parte do criptozoologista, já é menos uma coisa.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Eu sei que você pegou os gafanhotos das armadilhas que os criptozoologistas armaram.
Yeah. Kuno took the bugs, so what?
Por que roubar gafanhotos? Você não poderia encontrar outros animais de estimação?
They're not pets. Don't you know what locusts are? When they come out of the fucking sky. Fucking descendant shit.
Stop!
Ela uiva de trás da cerca, então cobre as próprias faces com as mãos.
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastical city. It's almost too big for his imagination. The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
O que é agora? Você é algum tipo de artista?
Maybe I am.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno.
Acene, produzir arte é uma boa pedida. Eu tenho algo de artista em mim.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in like 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Eu fiz isso por causa desse negócio de... Eu ganhei uma conquista de diga 5 frases do tiro artístico.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free.
Ele agarra os botões da camisa, tentando estourá-las e abrir. Eles não arrebentam.
Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Well, don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
O silêncio pesado cai sobre o terreno.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the eaves. Someone closing a window.
Ah, isso depende das escolhas que você fizer, jovenzinha. Ah, qual é? Ninguém está vindo te prender.
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face.
Caraca, ganhei do Kuno.
You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
Eu preciso que você pare de pegar os gafanhotos das armadilhas. Os criptozoologistas estão tentando encontrar algo muito importante. Os gafanhotos são uma isca.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. She was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno. She doesn't know whether to be glad because Kuno's finally convinced of the lameness, or more worried because of his continued use of the first person singular. Kuno is Kuno, not I.
Eu tenho que perguntar o que a cidade dos gafanhotos significa.
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck. Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame.
O que vai acontecer com os gafanhotos acendendo na direção do barraco?
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
Certo, agora que isso está acertado, é melhor me retirar.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
O Fasmídio insulindiano, ele vai zoar. Hã?
He recognizes the name.
Espere, você sabe o que é um Fasmídio insulindiano, né?
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
As you leave, you notice his usual rooster-like swaying posture has changed. Slowed down, like clockwork unwinding.
Kuno prometeu parar. Informe aos criptozoologistas sobre suas descobertas.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad? Kuno doesn't...
Devia ter aumentado minhas chances ali, né? Porque eu quebrei o Kuno agora, né, velho? Nessa daí eu quebrei ele. A empatia devia ficar mais fácil, mas beleza. Tudo bem também, né? Quanto será que eu tenho que tirar? Lendário? Eu não tenho que tirar 20, né? Eu tenho quanto de empatia? 1 mais 1 menos 1. Tenho 2. Nossa, tem muito pouco, né? Porque eu tenho 1 só de psique. É difícil, hein?
Hello. Lena and I were just discussing the design of the new
Eu
trap.
tive uma conversa com essa criança, Kuno. Ele prometeu parar de roubar os gafanhotos.
So he was just a child.
Ele parece desanimado.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe...
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
That's just something people tell themselves when they fail.
Maldição, talvez eu possa reabastecer as armadilhas pra você.
You can? Fine. It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
He wants to see this tale through, as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But he cannot let it drag out after this.
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
These are fresh fractured locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
Tudo bem, tudo bem. Pra que esse barulho quando eu peguei o item também, né? Desnecessário pra caramba. Caixa com gafanhotos. Ai, meu santo Deus amado do céu. Eu só peguei isso porque eu quero ganhar mais experiência. Pra conseguir mais nível, pra conseguir fazer tudo nesse jogo. Eu não sei nem mais o que fazer, cara. Se eu subir aqui... Pra que eu vou subir aqui também, né?
The door is...
Eu não consigo abrir mais. Eu consigo dar tchau pro tenente, não?
Yes?
Nada. Ah, eu vou ter que ir até lá na minha casa e dar tchau pra ele? Cair ele vai embora? Nossa. Desnecessário isso aí, né? Desnecessário pra caramba. Que já tá tarde pra caramba, né, velho? Vai dar quase meia-noite. Quer dizer, vai dar quase 11 horas ainda, na verdade, né? O que eu posso fazer agora? Vamos lá, vamos focar. Karaokê não, birita, birita e beba. Deixa eu beber. Não, vou beber agora não. Ligação, ainda não. Tatuagem, calça, spoiler de passagem. Abra a porta. Eu vou fazer isso amanhã. Encontre algum cigarro. Acrescente ainda mais beleza à parede. Arma. Prove sua autoridade a Titus. Resolva o enigma do Egghead. Baladeiro. Isso aqui tudo é uma coisa só, né? Ofereça estatueta, isso aqui não sei nem como. Cadáver no calçadão. Encontre o fasmídio insulidiano. Na verdade tem pouca coisa até, né? Eu tenho que fazer esse bagulho da igreja, né, cara? Abrir aquele negócio de sorvete, mas eu cheguei lá, tava 3%. 3% já é pouco demais, né? Eu tenho que achar a ferramenta certa, mas não é essa, não, que ela me deu? O multiferramenta aqui. Eu vou lá ver mais uma vez. Talvez se eu desligar o negócio, seja mais fácil. Talvez se eu desligar o gelo derreta. Faz sentido, hein? Mas aí vai demorar um tempo.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine.
Vou desligar, ó.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Very smart. Opening the lid should be much easier after the ice cream maker has defrosted.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Mesmo com esse 2 de bônus ainda continua assim. Será que eu tenho que esperar um tempo pra aumentar? Talvez, mas... Bagulho físico. Tem algo que me aumente negócio físico? Instrumento físico. Isso aqui também, né? Dá no mesmo. Isso daqui é até melhor porque dá calafrio. Mas eu perco 2 de autoridade também, né? Eu acho que não tem mais nada de instrumento físico, não. Inclusive de empatia eu tenho muito, né? Eu tenho quantas coisas de empatia? Com quanto de empatia eu consigo ficar? Só pra testar, pra ver se eu tento fazer o bagulho do Kuno já. tenho muita coisa que dá empatia, né, cara? Mas tem algumas coisas que tiram empatia também, né? Tá, na verdade eu pensei que fosse ter mais coisas que davam empatia. Eu consigo ficar com mais 3 de empatia. Total de empatia 4, nem vale a pena. Ainda é muito pouco. Deixa eu botar minhas roupas normais. Ah, agora que fui ver, isso aumenta minha moral. Nossa, não tinha reparado isso. O que mais eu tenho que tirar o óculos, né? E trocar o sapato. Certo, depois eu tento isso então. É muito difícil. Eu acho que eu vou... Cara, eu vou lá naquela porta lá. Calma, eu tenho que dar a volta, né? Mas eu vou fazer isso no próximo vídeo. Eu vou até lá e vou parar.
The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows heavier. More old bullet holes, half a century at least, from the revolution.
Examine mais de perto.
You peer into the faded marks in the stone. They peer back like an endless row of tiny black holes. Sweat starts trickling down your brow. Your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing in, caving in, ever tighter. Your breathing grows even heavier.
You okay there?
Sim, eu estou bem.
You were looking pale there for a second. What are you looking at?
Por que tantos buracos de bala? Eu vi muitos deles por aqui, né? É fuzilamento, né?
Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old.
Então nenhum crime aconteceu aqui?
Perhaps a crime of a sort ages ago. But no, these do not warrant an investigation.
Certo, mas o que você pode me dizer sobre a Revolução?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Should we go?
Aqui então, né? Bom, eu vou finalizar esse vídeo por aqui. Muito obrigado por quem assistiu, espero que tenham gostado. Se inscrevam no canal se não forem inscritos, deixem um curtir. E valeu, falou!